Today, did you miss the E3 press conferences? We'll summarize them for you. It gets weird. This is CheckPoint. Hi everybody, welcome to a very special edition of CheckPoint that's all about E3 2016 news.
Also, I'm here.
Also, Kathleen's here, sure.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Dug great hopes up.
Electronic Arts started off E3 this year by attempting to not start E3. Their off-site, but still nearby, press conference was introduced not as a part of E3, but as, quote, a new event, which is basically the best metaphor ever for what EA considers new and different. In that spirit, they showed off Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2, Mass Effect Andromeda, and because even EA has to grudgingly include some kind of indie darling, a game called F. There was an extended montage on all the EA-adjacent studios that are currently making Star Wars games, which is to say, all the studios. Every studio is making all the Star Wars. Stars will be awarded so hard. Did you blink? Then you missed the gameplay footage, but don't worry, Star Wars is happening. And also there was news on new Madden and FIFA games, which Twitter had a great time pretending they were too cool for because, ew, sports, forgetting that EA Sports pays for a whole ton of stuff they do like, and also that people are allowed to like sports. The standout moment of the Not E3 event was EA wasting truckloads of that money by bringing in Jamie Foxx and Zac Efron, nominally to participate in a 64-player match of Battlefield 1, but actually to get baked with Snoop Dogg and look like they didn't want to be there.
Welcoming everyone to a retrofitted airplane hangar, the Bethesda showcase opened with a trailer for Quake Champions, the first Quake game since 2007, and the first one developed by id Software since Quake 3 Arena in 1999. Considering their recent successes with Wolfenstein and Doom, this means that Bethesda will have resurrected every old-school shooter except Marathon, and since Bungie's still trying to make Destiny work, maybe they'll let Bethesda have it too. There's a nuclear dump of Fallout news, mostly upcoming DLC for Fallout 4, including an expansion where you can build your own vault and run experiments on the inhabitants, just like Daddy Vault Tech used to do. Step 1, name everyone Gary. It was revealed that Prey 2 is back, and it's actually just called Prey, and it's so different from the first Prey that nobody is really sure why it's called Prey at all, but here we are! But the best part of the showcase was Dishonored 2, and it was great, because the most amazing part of it was that all the snarky gaming personalities I follow on Twitter stopped being snarky for a solid 45 minutes on either side of the Elder Scrolls Online segment.
Next is the Ubisoft press conference and the return of national treasure Aisha Tyler to present 2 hours of heavily scripted gameplay footage that will be used years from now in comparison videos to show how it looked better at E3. The creative director for Ghost Recon Wildlands took the stage to excitedly ask us to imagine a magical future where Mexican drug cartels have seized control of the entire country of Bolivia, speaking not unlike a science documentary narrator who has just been taking PCP and talking about how PCP is boring but you should try some too. What's hundreds of years and thousands of miles between warrior stereotypes? For Honor is a game in which a global tectonic cataclysm somehow makes medieval knights, Scandinavian Vikings, and Japanese samurai all coexist in the same valley, where they fight for literally 1,000 years before a game of Dynasty Warriors breaks out. Ubisoft revealed new DLC for The Division, and the assembled throng of gaming enthusiasts and the gaming press were very polite and let them get through their whole speech. They even applauded when it made sense to, just to make Ubisoft feel like they were doing the right thing. I mean, they've come all this way, and they've written all these words about Division DLC, so it would be rude to just tell them that no one gives a single mill of shit. Watch Dogs 2 appears to continue the tradition of a main character who is ostensibly a morally righteous person despite routinely committing theft, criminal mischief, and, murder, and who hangs around with people dressed like CSI's idea of what an internet hacker looks like. Ubisoft's big reveal was a brand new IP called Steep, a game based around falling down mountains while under the influence of a Red Bull sponsorship. It's worth noting that more non-player bystanders died during the gameplay demo of Steep than the gameplay demo of Watch Dogs 2, reaffirming my stance on outdoor activities, which is a stance of staying firmly indoors. As the stream went dark, Heavenly Superperson Aisha Tyler unhinged her jaw and swallowed Yves Guillemot without chewing.
Confirming all those leaks that dribbled out before the show, Microsoft announced a small Xbox and a different Xbox. The Xbox One S, a slimmer Xbox One, an Xbox 0.5 if you will, comes out in August, and Project Scorpio, the new Xbox, comes out for the 2017 holidays. Not content to merely ape on Apple's naming conventions with the Xbox One S, Microsoft also released the most Apple commercial I've seen in years, including one from Apple. Advertising the new Xbox controllers that come with customizable colors. Microsoft also confirmed that PC gamers and console gamers, two groups notorious for their ability to get along, will be able to cross-play Gears of War 4 between Xbox One and PC. I've been to a lot of anime conventions, and cross-play means something else to me, but here we are. They also showed off ReCore, Forza 3, and Final Fantasy 15, but mostly everybody was just talking about hardware.
Another great year for fans of bearded men as Sony unveiled a cavalcade of games with barely enough time between trailers to proclaim the Vita officially dead. They didn't actually say that. They just implied it. Kratos finds himself battling the Norse pantheon in a new God of War title that also sees the angsty albino sadist battling his most trying test yet, fatherhood. It's Kratos and the Kid coming this fall to ABC. Detroit Become Human wins the E3 award for game title most in need of punctuation and rapidly took its place as second most anticipated game about posthumanism set in Detroit. By making a game about androids, developer Quantic Dream has finally found a way to circumvent David Cage's inability to write realistic human dialogue. The only developer who got his own entrance, Hideo Kojima, unveiled what he's been working on since being unceremoniously shit-canned by Konami, and it doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense. But hey, if Norman Reedus standing naked in a sea of dead fish as an invisible fetus leaves oily handprints down his sinewy thigh sounds like your kind of video game, then I don't know where you've been getting your entertainment until now.
Nintendo showed off Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and talked a bit about Pokemon. And it was nice. Good for them.
Well, that was a nice E3.
Was it?
I mean, stuff got announced. People liked it. That seems nice.
People like everything that gets announced at E3. People get hyped about the launch of a turd if it was branded with popular enough IP.
Well, no, come on now. That's not right.
You're telling me you wouldn't buy the Dooker of Dunwall Dishonored 2 Special Edition if it gave you access to an extra costume?
Is the extra costume cool?
Yes, it makes Corvo look like the poop emoji.
Yeah, I'd buy it.
Coming up, CD Projekt Red has spun The Witcher's in-game universe card game, Gwent, into its own standalone game, answering fans' many calls, prayers, and tweaked-out screams of "Give me my fix already!" I was trying to save it, you see.
I know.
Could you tell?
Yep.
So subtle, my acting.